Okay, once you get your paper back and it's dry, we are going to flip it to the back and we're going to cut off any of the extra newspaper that's hanging past the paper so that we can trim those up. And then we're going to start some more art on top of that newspaper. Go ahead and recycle your scraps and flip it to the front. Next, we're going to be doing some art on top of here. You do have some resource images in your resource folder. So we have some symbols on one side if you want to use some symbols. Also some Basquiat other imagery that he uses in his art. We're also going to be doing some scribbling. So we're going to use our crayons to do that. So I'm just going to pick a few colors and then I'm going to do some scribbling. Yes, we don't normally scribble, but we can today. I'm going to use a couple different colors. Oops, it's ripping my newspaper, so be careful so that doesn't happen. So you decide, you can use any kind of marks you want, adding just some different textures and lines to the background. And then I may even use some of these symbols here to draw something that might mean something to me specifically. So I think I will definitely do a heart. You can leave it outlined or you can also color it in. You're going to want to push fairly hard with these crayons so it shows up on top of that background full of symbols as we move. So here's my palette and brush. So once you feel like you have filled up your page with some scribbles as well as maybe a couple of symbols, then we can go on to the next step. This can just get stored in our art folder while we do the next part. Okay, next we are going to practice drawing some dinosaurs. You're going to be picking only one for your final art, but I have given you some images of silhouettes. Remember, that's just an outline of an object. And we are going to practice on our practice page. So I want to go over how that looks for some of these to help you. So we're going to focus on this one for the moment just so I can break it down for you into shapes. So I would say your paper would go vertical if I do this one, if you see, because it's shorter this way and longer this way. So you kind of want to think about that as you do your final. But right now we can just practice on our page. So this body shape, I would say, kind of looks like an oval. So start with that nice and light. Then we have a rectangle shape that goes up. And then the head again looks like another oval, so it's smaller though. So see, the body oval is bigger than the head oval. So that's the way I'm going to start that so that we can get some of those shapes in correctly. Then if I look at the legs, they are really just 4 rectangles. So kind of putting those in at the bottom. And then the last piece there will be the tail. So if you look, it goes from the body and curls around. So I'm going to go from the body and curl around, and it starts to get a little bit thinner near the end. Now, where everything connects is where you can erase. So where the head is connecting to the neck, I can erase that line. If that oval is still showing right there, I can connect that. Where the tail connects to the body, erase that line. That way, this gives us the final shape that we might want to use for our dinosaur. So down and around. And now I have one of these shapes finished. And I could try another one. So you want to break everything down into shapes, and we're just practicing as we go. So let's do another one here. Let's do this one. So again, a nice oval body. So a big oval body, drawing nice and light. And then the head kind of looks like a triangle coming out. And then we have all these spikes that also look somewhat like triangles. So you can start adding those on, and they get smaller as they go to the end of the bodies. And then this tail is a triangle. It's just a little bit different shape. It just comes up and back down and goes to the body. And again, we have these rectangle legs. So making those 4 rectangle legs, 2 near the back, and then 2 near the front. You could always add some of those extra details, like that does look like there's a foot. So I could put that on here, like so. and then erase where they connect, just like we did on the last one. That way it looks more like that outline of that particular dinosaur. So I want you to try at least 4. You can do more if you want, but here's my 2 so far, and then we're gonna pick one to put on our final art. Okay, now that I'm finished with my practices, I'm gonna decide which one I'm going to do on my final artwork. And we are gonna start off with our pencil, and my dinosaur I'm gonna do is this T-Rex. So I'm gonna go more vertical with him. So I need to leave a little bit of room at the top. We are gonna draw that crown. Jean-Michel Basquiat loved to put crowns in his art. That was one of his symbols that was important to him. So we're just gonna do a line going across, and then one triangle, another triangle, and a third. So that is our crown. And then we can take that black crayon and trace that so that that shows up for us. And then that helps you see it in the video as well. So a nice big crown near the top of the page. And then I'm gonna work on my dinosaur shapes. So I'm gonna start off with this body, the big oval here. So I want room for the body to go here, so nice and big. We are filling up our paper. So I'm gonna draw a big oval. It might be a little hard to see in the video. And then it's gonna come up to the head. And I'm gonna again do another oval for the head. And then I'm gonna start working on this tail that's gonna come down. So you hopefully can start seeing that as well. And then I'm gonna start working on these 2 legs. And they're gonna come down, one on each side here, and then come to the foot. Again to the other one. And then I'm gonna work on these 2 little hands and arms that are up here at the top. All right, now that I have my pencil done, I'm gonna go ahead and outline the outside line shape, so that's silhouette, so that I can see my final shape. That helps you see it in the video as well. So we do want to draw big enough to fill up our paper. If we draw too small, then it's not going to fill the space. So you can see I'm tracing my pencil. All right, and there's my outline. Okay, next we're gonna get some black paint, and we are going to paint inside that dinosaur shape using that black Sharpie line to help us know where that is. So take your time painting those all along those edges. Be very careful in your small spaces. If you need this smaller paintbrush, I'll have those there for you. So for example, my arms are much smaller, so I would need that smaller paintbrush to get in there. Okay, once you have finished painting your dinosaur, we are going to put these on the drying rack to dry, and we will add more details next week.